What's up, dudes? We are coming at you here with a more of a technical video. I myself, I love data as far as the OSD screen information and so on and so forth to really show how the plane itself is actually handling. So we're gonna go ahead and do this on the Alpha Strike maiden flight, foggy maiden flight, I must say. Which again, this really was a situation where I totally underestimated how much fog it really was in the area. And as soon as it got up in the air, I was like, oh crap, But it was just like, hey, let's make the best of it. I'm up here. Let's see what the plane can do. While we got it going and stuff. Then we'll worry about the landing later. That's what I said to myself anyway. But anywho, let's go ahead and roll the clip and just show how much power this plane has got on takeoff. Again, I'm using a Line Pack 4S 1P, 5,000 milliamp. Using the Samsung 50E cells. They are, let's see here, I got one right here in front of me. They are the INR2 1700-50E Samsung lithium ion packs. They're great. They can do a constant in a 4S 1P setup. You can do a constant 10 amps basically, 9.8 amps constant pull on these cells, and it won't damage them. And they perform well, as you can see in this video. Which I pretty much, the plane doesn't even need to be at 10 amps to even keep it going. That's you at 10 amps, you're gonna be hauling butt. Just simple as that with this plane. But anyway, we'll roll the clip and let it play out here. There we go. She gets up to 37 amps, and it torque roll, but it did an actual, what I would call a soft torque roll. It wasn't real crazy, and I was able to pull out of it real easy. But as you can see here, at 17 amps, still climbing. Look at the climb rate. It's shooting up there like a rocket. And once I flatten it out, you'll see here just how amazingly fast this thing is. Here you go. There, 50 miles per hour at 5 amps. So, I was up above the fog and stuff, so I had to hop in and get it down and get back in my seat so I can get cozy and get it going. But the plane itself, though, it was flying on the stock setup that I put off in it, the stock pits and everything. It was flying very, very well. No issues at all. There you go. You see that little flicker there? That was me plugging in my ground station. I finally got in my chair. But I know the area. I know what height to be at to overcome pretty much everything at the various different distances. I know within a mile and a half, right at 2 mile radius, I can be at 180 feet and would most definitely would clear everything and will always have the video. And a little bit beyond that, get up around 260ish feet or so, and it's the same thing. I know the whole entire area, so there was no threat or danger period in this whole entire flight. Um, but anyway, as you can see, the plane here, I got it sitting give or take at 10 amps. I mean, 10% throttle, pulling 5 amps. Might as well say what it's showing, and it's flying flat, smooth. It's doing awesome. I had the auto trim on, trying to trim it out. I don't know if that's what's making the plane kind of slightly every now and again you'll see it pivot from one side to the other. I don't know if that's what's going on, but we'll most definitely know on the next flight. We'll see how it does with auto trim actually turned off. But that was the whole thing today. I just wanted to get out there to be able to test it out, do just the auto trim, and at least be able to experience, the sheer speed of this plane. But again, as you can see, 10% throttle. That's where it likes to be at to stay in the air. And as far as amp wise go, at the 5 amps, that's it's gonna fly for a good period of time, most definitely. So I'm on the next flight. I already got the cruise throttle set up to be a little bit lower to where it can just cruise it out. I'm gonna keep flying it this way until I get a hold of some actual high C rating lipos, which I got some, but they're just too big for the plane. And my buddy, whenever we get together, which it should be pretty soon, he's got some for a quad. I'm gonna borrow those and stick it off in there to where we can do some just flat out full throttle, flying and just see what this baby can do. And looking at the other videos some other guys put out there, it's going to be most definitely in the 100 miles per hour with ease. And that's the thing about it, with the mini drag, for example. I keep going back to that one. That's the only other fast plane I got. It's been the fastest plane I had in my fleet until now. The mini drag would do it too, but it was put on a lot more amps to do it. Bigger prop, bigger plane all together, but it took a lot more for it to do the speeds that the Alpha Strike is doing with ease. That's the big difference to me. That's just it's insane in the way that the plane handled when I switched it over to acro mode. It felt kind of locked in again. Auto trim was on, so it was kind of doing some weird stuff there. That's not the plane's fault. That's on auto trim, but it felt locked in. It felt good. I mean, it was real easy to track and the whole 9 yards. I absolutely like the plane, and I'm highly impressed on my first flight with it. And if you guys can hear this music in the background, that's brought to you by my daughter. She's hanging out in the garage with her daddy. And also on this flight, I went ahead. I did a little bit of research and stuff about this Horizon Drift stuff, and I've been noticing on some other planes. Um, I read up on something what Mark Hoffman was saying on the ignore rate. You need to set that at like 8, and then on the ignore slope part of it, you're supposed to set that on like 5 or so. So I've been playing around with that on the Talon 250G, and I noticed that I've have gotten it to kind of calm down a little bit on the horizon drift. So with this plane, I just went ahead and on this particular flight, the ignore rate is at 8 and the slope is at 1. So it's again the plane's feeling pretty good. I think I'm gonna bump that slope up to maybe 3 and just see how that does from there. But again, is I think the plane is flying pretty dang on good right now. Most definitely, as is. But we're going to try to get it dialed in and tighten up as best as possible. But you see, we run into the 20% throttle, 7.5 amps, pretty much flying flat out here at points, 55 miles per hour. You can't beat that. You can't beat that. That's gonna make some real unique video, super fast, low, long range flying with this thing is gonna cover a lot of ground real quick. Okay. At this point, I was literally just trying to scour the ground a little bit, get a little bit off in there to where I can hopefully could spot where the trail was. There's a trail that we typically, if you watch my other videos, I always when I come in for a lap, I go the same way just about every single time. Well, two different ways. But I was trying to get down in there to where I might could spot it, and I knew if I could see it, of course, I'll be able to follow the trail in the rest of the way. So this is why I'm at this particular altitude, getting knocked around by the fog. But this was part of the old crap moment I knew that I had to eventually had to deal with, and still got plenty of battery left. Again, it's a line pack. I can actually take this safely all the way down to 12 volts, and there's the path right there. And I seen it. I was like, oh yeah, okay. So I know when I got ready to circle around again, I shouldn't have any issues finding it. And see here, I made a first pass by, and I seen the course. It's like, man, this thing is gonna be coming in hot. So I knew I was going to stretch it out as long as possible. So I was trying to go out as to the furthest extent that I could and line up with it from a distance and be able to come in like that. But it turned to be a little bit of a challenge. But you'll see in the video. We'll just keep letting it play out here, and you'll see what I ended up um, having to do, which you've seen in the HD version of it. But we'll let the OSD part of it play out for you guys so you can see what I had to do to get it to get it down from my perspective. And that was it. We'll wind it back in just a second so we can see the last little bits of data. And I should have grabbed the plane and left it armed and walked around to where I was on the other side of the building so where I could have seen the actual summary screen, but the plane had got wet and I didn't know how much water could have got inside of it from the ground. I didn't want to take any chances, so I went ahead and unplugged it. Again, the whole purpose today was just the auto trim day and to get it up in the air. Let's see here. I think that's a good enough point before it fuzzes out. All right, so we got 2600 milliamps used, 2613. We actually traveled a total distance of 16.8 miles within 21 minutes. And this was, of course, you've seen the type of flight it was. So Man, with that being said, I will probably on this current pack that I got off in it now, just depending now. This is preliminary stuff. Um, I would have to guess and say that I probably could cruise this plane after a couple of flights, getting the cruise throttle set perfectly and everything. I probably can make this plane cruise between 4 and 6 amps, and can be probably at give or take 50 miles per hour, 45 on the low side, and keep this baby up and going. And probably will be closer to that 100 milliamp per kilometer range. I'm guessing of an average during a flight. So I would say on this 5,000 milliamp pack, I probably would probably be able to travel 25 to 30 miles round trip. It's just what I'm guessing, just a guesstimate, just throwing it out there. But we'll see though. There's more to come. Most definitely, I'm not doing the foggy flight no more. That's over with. This was just out of desperation, me dying to get this plane in the air to see what it does for myself and be able to share it with you dudes. So anyway, I'm out, y'all. Peace and love. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any questions, anything I left out, hit me up, leave me a comment, and we'll get you guys fixed up. We out.